Welcome back, everybody, to episode numero quattro 4. Is quattro 4?
Yes, 4.
In
No, that's definitely 4. I'm thinking, is it episode 4? It's episode 4, isn't
It
it?
is episode
Why do I
4.
always forget episodes? It's so dumb.
It's because you're not in touch with CultrTalk.
Yeah, for real.
So today, we thought we would talk about something, that I think there's a lot of people in their life, it comes to a point where they do think about these moments.
Yeah.
Obviously, as we are still young bucks, we probably haven't experienced everything in life just yet.
Definitely not, boy.
You listen, we're sitting down, yeah.
Huh?
Josh sits down. And out of his pocket, people are not watching. Out of his pocket, he gets his sanitizer out, just sticks it.
You have to be
There's a bit left in there. If you want to buy it, £150.
150. Check
Buy
it.
that. So today we're going to talk about so far in our lives. So I'm not saying this is like final. This is what, but what is the highest and what is the lowest point of your life to this point? And like, if we're obviously we're just talking about it, so we are comfortable about it. If we're comfortable enough to explain it a bit. So do you wanna? Should we start on the negative note? So then
then we go on to the high.
So do you want to start off with your lowest point? Of your life?
Yeah. So like, I'd say, man, there's been a lot of lows. As we know, life goes. You have your ups and downs. But I'd say the lowest was when I lost my mum when I was 8. So like, basically, my mum suffered from breast cancer. And being that age, like 8 years old, you don't really know much about anything. You don't know what's going on around you. You're just living life, enjoying.
Yeah, you don't really have that conscious awareness about
Exactly, not at all. You're just trying to live a child's life and enjoy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think at that time I was very confused because she wasn't really mobile a lot. She'd stay at home, was lying down a lot, and I never really understood. And then I'd always want to go to these, maybe someone in my class has a birthday party in school or and she wouldn't let me go. And I used to get so mad about it. But like, I realized in hindsight, that was because she couldn't keep an eye on me and she wasn't able to. And that time, like when I lost her in 2006, was really difficult. For me personally, I feel like I feel like I was like, mentally, I wasn't comprehending what was actually happening.
Because you're at such a young age, man.
Exactly, such a young age. I also felt like I needed to be there for my grandma for some reason, even though I was only 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I think everybody was being sympathetic towards me. Like, all of the people who knew my family were like always giving me attention, saying, "Are you okay?" Being really sympathetic. And I actually used to hate that. At that time, personally, I used to hate the attention. I just used to want to shut off and just forget about everything.
They're obviously from the kindness of their heart.
Of course.
Trying to be sympathetic, but when they're doing that, it's kind of constantly reminding you of what's happened.
Exactly.
Because you're probably there trying to, now brush yourself down and just be like, what's the next steps I can take?
Just process it at my pace, and it was hard just going through that and having people, I felt like I had to relive it for so long, and it was hard to come to terms with that.
Yeah.
And then also my dad was not around for that. Not even full on disclaimer, like he's just, well, in my opinion, he's not a great dad at all. He basically like cut them times, and I never really relied on him to be a dad anyway, so like that wasn't a problem. But my brothers and, my grandma were there for me during that time, my grandpa as well. But yeah, it was hard to come out of that. And then, so that was 2006. And then obviously moving on then to like the later years in primary school, I feel like I shifted more towards friendships. Like, I think...
You think because like the family situation wasn't perfect, do you think you turned more to having outside help through friends?
Yeah.
Do you think that was it?
Like, my grandma has like always said to me since I was young, like, why do you focus so much on friends and stuff like that? And I feel like it was kind of from that place, like, sort of just, being outside of the situation. Like, my current family is amazing, like, as in my brothers, my grandma, incredible. My grandpa was incredible when he was around. They are always and always have been incredible. But it was just not having that nuclear family, like my mum
Yeah.
wasn't around as well, and it just felt like, you know, my mum was missing. Like simple
it's
as that.
simple as that. Exactly.
So,
yeah. Like
I feel like I always poured attention into friends and maybe not even family enough. But then again, I was processing and trying to go through it at 8 years old. So
it's how you deal with it at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
If you found the right friends to, you know, go to them and like, you know, feel a sense of normality, then that is completely it's completely normal. So,
Yeah.
but obviously as a grandma, she wants you to be probably
Of
a bit
course.
round a bit more. She's probably missing you herself.
Of course.
But I've always told you, it's like, I give you mad props for what you've gone through from a very young age. You've not let it get you to a dark place, because that could what you've been through. I mean, I'm not saying you didn't go through dark phases. You probably
I will say, like, it is actually mad. Like, now thinking back on it, some of the thoughts I had at that age as a kid
probably was something you should not be thinking about.
Kids should never like I'm just gonna be like cutthroat and honest. Like, at that time, I was asking myself questions like, why didn't, you know, I go? Why wasn't I taken? Why did my mom have to be taken? Like I genuinely wanted the roles to be reversed, and, you know, like, when you think about a kid thinking from that perspective, it's just a bit mad. You should never, you know,
kids shouldn't have to go through their feelings, but it's only natural because that's your mother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but my grandma, like, really helped, and obviously she lost her daughter, and it was really difficult for her, and she's been, like, incredibly strong through it. No mother wants to see their daughter go, or their children go before them. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. So it's incredibly difficult. But she helped me through that so much.
You also have two amazing brothers
as well, who were also suffering. They weren't even in the country when it happened, so they found out late even. So they weren't even here. It was just me, my grandparents.
Yeah.
Well, one of my brothers was here, the other one wasn't. But yeah, it was just it was hard.
But it's like it's like commemorable to, like, see how you've, like, you know, taken that situation in. And that by any chance, that is the lowest point of your life, 100%.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, I'm not saying it's easy not to go. You could have easily fallen into a spiral of, like, a lot of negative stuff.
Yeah.
So what would you say, like, I sound like a therapist right now.
Yeah. It's
what would you say, like, how did you manage to get yourself, like, up every day? How did you manage to, you know, just get yourself motivated to, you know?
It was to appreciate what's around me, because I think I realized very quickly, like, from so young, that life is short. And that is why I never took things like school for granted. Like, I would always mess around. It sounds stupid, but, like, that's why I would mess around in GCSE or, like, in secondary school, because I knew, like, genuinely, like, from so young, that life is limited. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember you were in school every single day.
Literally,
you're like excited to get into school.
Fam, like, attendance was basically on max, but not even because I enjoyed studying per se. I just wanted to be around and mess around, like. But that was because I just I appreciated things a lot more. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I think that helped a lot, an incredible lot.
Bruv, honestly, the way you flipped the switch. It's been commemorable. Like, that is just crazy. Is that the only thing you'd say is your lowest point?
I say then secondly, then my grandpa. So so, like, man. I'm Ghanaian by heritage, but I was, like, since I was born, I was raised by my step grandfather. But to me, he's my grandpa. He's Jamaican. But he passed in 2013 as well. So that was during A-levels, which was incredibly difficult. That guy was such a joke and such a...
Passed during A-levels?
Yeah, 2013. Wait, was that A-levels? No, sorry, that's incorrect. That was 2013. That was the year before GC. That was GCSE time.
I was going to say, because I was with you for A-levels.
Yeah, you were with me. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I would remember it then.
Yeah, GCSE time, 2013. So, yeah, that was difficult as well. Man, there's this man. I've even forgotten, like, even during, like, when I lost my mum, we went to Ghana to have the funeral, and obviously my dad was there, and his brother also was there, so an uncle, but, like, I had never met him before.
Yeah.
And we were driving. We were on our way to, because basically I think one of my dad's family members had also passed at a similar time.
Okay.
So me and my dad, my uncle were driving in the car. My uncle was driving, and he passed out at the wheel. And
while the car was moving,
whilst the car was moving, my dad took over. My dad stopped the car. They then admitted him to hospital, and he passed away.
Seriously,
literally,
bro, you have been.
And that was all during my mum's funeral, my dad's side of the family, that was just nuts.
Oh my gosh,
that was just nuts. So
I
that's
forgot. I think you've told me that story before. I forgot about that. That is, bro,
it's just I honestly think it's traumatic to the I sometimes just forget it even happened.
Because but that was a young age again, wasn't it?
That was literally the same month that my mum passed.
You're 8 years old, and there you're driving down the road to somebody, and they pass away by the wheel.
Yeah, literally.
Bro,
stroke. Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts.
That is crazy.
Yeah. But what about you, though? So, what would you say?
So you finish it off by saying stroke. There you go. Which that comes into my play for my lowest point. Yeah. So my mum's had health issues from when I was in school. I think when we hit end of GCSE going into sixth form, mum had 3 strokes.
Oh my God.
3. That limited her mobility, massively, but she was still able to, get about and stuff. So she was independent. Then during sixth form, she had a 4th one, which made her. She's now completely from waist down. She has no movement. She was in hospital. I think this was during first year sixth form.
Yeah.
She was in hospital for 9 months.
Wow. I remember you were up and down a
9 months. So what my routine was, I'd wake up in the morning. I would go to sixth form.
Yeah.
I'd do what I need to do. I wouldn't even stick about. And from there, I'd head straight to the hospital, and I'd just be next to her. Next to her, or if she's sleeping, I'd go into the waiting area, and I'd do my A-level courseworks in there. It's because she wanted people around her, and it affected her mentally there as well. So we needed to be there. So I went through 9 months of just school. It's just like you lost your mother at a young age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you obviously don't have that anymore. So when it came to my mum, because it affected it in a mental way as well. It's 1 minute I had my mum to go to, because I'm a mummy's boy. Yeah. So I had my mum to turn to for anything that went wrong in my life. I'd go to my mum, and she would help me. But it got to the point where it's damn, I can't even go to my mum anymore. Yes, my dad is there, but with my dad, it's not on that level.
You have more of a different kind of connection with your mum. Yeah, it's
what was also hard, because I have 2 younger sisters, so seeing them have to grow up a lot faster, because they had to go to school, come back home, cook for themselves. My dad was at the hospital while I wasn't at home. So very early on, they're year 7 and at that time. So they shouldn't be coming back worrying about, okay, what we're going to eat.
Exactly.
It should be food on the table. Do you
get what I mean? They had to grow up really fast.
So for me, I felt really guilty at that time as well for them. It's damn, it's like a childhood being taken away. But they've done well. They've come out of it.
Exactly. They're doing well for themselves.
I think that period took me to a dark place.
But how? Yeah.
That first year took me to a dark place. I didn't, even when I had time to just relax, I wouldn't meet people. I just want to stay at home.
Yeah, all the time.
Because I just felt I was so drained from the whole everything that was going on.
You're always you're always gonna worry about your mom and your sisters.
Yeah, because every time I was away from the hospital, I was like, "Hey, what's she doing now?" Right? And they'll have the ward visiting times would be over, and I'd just be like, "Well, I can leave." I used to not follow that. It was 8 o'clock. Yeah. I was like, "I'm leaving at midnight." I'm not doing it if I'm just sitting here, because I just didn't want to leave her, and she didn't want us to go either.
Yeah.
So that happened, and I think I shut myself off, because I think first year sixth form we obviously met up and stuff when we saw in school, but I wasn't about like that, because I think second year sixth form was when I picked myself up. I just felt every time I went home, so I'm just gonna stay in my bed, and that's it.
So how did you come out of that? Was it when your mum came home and was released from hospital?
So I came out of that is when she started to get a bit better. So she was improving, and then the doctors had told us in the next week or so, I think we're going to let her home and she can recover at home.
Yeah.
And that brought me joy, because then I felt we could have our family back together again, rather than being split up. We were doing Eid and stuff, because I'm Muslim.
Yeah.
Me and my dad would go into the mosque in the morning, coming home, packing food, and we were doing Eid in the hospital. with my mum.
It's crazy.
So like, it's like, but then you see, go on like your social medias and stuff. You see everybody's out with their family, but our outing was to the hospital.
For your mum.
So when that came about and my mum was coming home, I felt like a new lease of life almost. I was like, finally, we can have her home and we can get things back.
Be family,
Be family, get things back together again. And then I think my mum, actually, I spoke to my mum about it, and I told her, like, even though she wasn't completely there, I still want to have a conversation with her. And I said to her, I was like, I'm so happy you're coming home. I just want to be a family again. She goes, this is she's like, I really want to come home, and I can see you guys have been strong for me, and I want you to continue being strong for me. Her saying that from the get-go, I said, like, if my mum's even in that situation realizing that we're being strong for her, like,
that's
we
amazing.
might as well be there for her. And like, I'm Muslim, obviously, so I believe in certain beliefs, and it's up in, like, you know, we believe that the heaven lies at the feet of your mother, right?
Yeah.
So we to see this situation as, like, one of my aunts said this to me, actually. She said, see this as a blessing, because your mother, obviously, my mother, she birthed us, she you know, she looked after us, but the fact that God has given us the opportunity now to turn the tables
and look after her and take care of her.
See it as a blessing. So I've always seen it as a blessing. And since then, you know, she came back home, I feel like we got back to, like, everyone got back to, like, you know, a family environment again. Second in uni, come on, I was chilling. You saw a different lease of life in me, because I came out. But that was definitely the lowest point in my life. Is I feel like I'm a person that needs structure around my family. I'm very different to you, I'd say. I'm more family orientated.
Yeah. I'd say
way more family orientated.
I'm used to the, like, unstructured nature. I don't have a structured family, so it's not odd to me, but it takes me a while to get used to family structure. Even simple things like having dinner as a family at a dinner table. Yeah. Like, certain things like that is crazy. Like, if I go to a friend's house, or like even my girlfriend's house, like it's odd. Like, it's not natural to me, or eating at a set time with the fam, or like even outings. Like me and my brothers, and we do go places, not like we don't, but do you know what I mean? Like the entire family.
Yeah, entire family. It's like, it's you know, you don't come by that a lot, do you? Like,
nah, not really. But I honestly, I want to mention, like, I think it's amazing that you do see it as a blessing to take care of your mom, and that you were there for her through that time. Yeah. And obviously the fact she told you that, you know, you being strong, because it genuinely helps so much. Like, it genuinely helps, you know, parents, or if somebody's suffering with something, to get through it and push on. Yeah. And definitely. Obviously you're an older brother to two sisters, and like, I'm sure you helped them a lot as well.
I think that's what made me feel more responsibility. I don't know why. Exactly. I felt like I had responsibility to make sure that they were okay. Exactly. Like, I didn't want to show emotion around them, in case my emotions made them feel a certain way. So it's like, I had to just be that annoying, bubbly character, which I was. Yeah, but like... And
it's even, just to say, it's even tiring to do that.
Yeah, because it's not...
When you're suffering so much.
You're feeling a certain kind of way, and you have to cover that up.
Yeah, my brothers were definitely that for me as well. Yeah.
But that's why we have people in our life that are blessings. But
exactly,
that would be my lowest point.
Yeah.
Should we move on to more of a positive?
Yeah, let's move on to a more positive note. Yeah.
What would you say the highlight? So obviously we haven't experienced life, so this might...
Yeah, we're 21, 22.
For now, what is the most positive aspect? Like, what's the highlight of your life so far?
Highlight of my life?
What's the highest of the high of the high of the high?
I mean, one of them is definitely graduating from UCL.
Yeah, I would say the same as well.
And... dropped a bit. But the reason why is because I know it would have been a dream of my mom's, you know, that I graduate. It's something I wish she could have been there for. Yeah, I wish she could have seen, but I'm so happy that my grandma was around to see it.
I'm sure she's watching, bro.
I'm sure, but like I'm so glad my grandma was there to see that. And hopefully, like, I know she will be there to see me graduate again. I'm just so happy my brothers could come as well, you know, and they could see that. And for me, as soon as I lost my mom, like, my goal was just to
make her proud.
Make her proud, innit?
And I'm telling you,
just not mess up.
I'm telling you, bruv, you have, like, trust me.
Yeah, thank you.
You've done a madness, bro. You've done a madness. Trust me.
We both have.
I respect that.
We fully both have.
Fam, like, I don't know. It's not stereotyping. Again, I've told you this before. Like, you know, like, from your background and stuff, generally the people that come from there get involved in things they shouldn't.
Yeah, of course. And the areas both of us live in, there's madness going around.
Madness going around in those areas. One of your brothers went to Cambridge.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like, sorry, like you went to Cambridge.
Literally,
you know
like
what I mean? Francois,
first at Middlesex, working at
bank.
top banks. Like, this is what I'm saying. They set, they fully set
the
pace.
standard.
They set the standard. Yeah,
I feel bad for you.
Yeah, literally, I felt bad for myself because I like is this really what I'm gonna have to top?
You have to get to that level.
Yeah.
So that's graduating review 1. Outside of just the education, any personal achievements?
Any personal achievements? That's a good question.
It's interesting because I'm trying to think of it now. Like, what have I personally achieved in life that has made me think like, rah, it's one of the highest. Actually,
what's that?
It's still, for me, it's still going to be around uni time. One of like the feeling of the highest high I had was, when we finished our last exam.
Oh.
And then afterwards, we remember Miz rented a car that day, and we went back to the car. And then after that, we went driving around. We went to a restaurant. I think I felt this kind of relaxation and this kind of high that I haven't felt for a long time.
That is so true.
It was like I was breathing. Like, it was like a sense of relief. It's like everything is done now. I've got a whole summer to look forward to. Yeah. I'm finishing the education system. I'm with my boys. We went driving around. We went to a Turkish restaurant. Had a mad munch. I think
that day was, oh my word.
Do you remember that
I'm
day?
Thinking about it, that was gassing me.
That day was so
now I'm back kicking everyone kind of the square.
Yeah, now we're back here,
I fully agree with you. That day was just it was just bliss, fam. It was just mad. Like,
did you get that feeling? When you go back in the car, I don't know, my heart had this
feeling. Like even when I go into sometimes like when I'm, what's it called? Like stressing about uni or something. Sometimes I literally go onto my Instagram story, the highlights, and just go back to that day. Like, just being able to say it's the last day. But then it was kind of weird. I say like the following week, because then it got to the point where I was like, rah, like I'm done with uni.
Because then it hit the point where I was like,
it's like, okay.
I mean, waking up late is all fun and that.
Yeah, but it's like,
what's going on now?
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's going on?
But I think for me, I got straight into working.
Yeah, exactly.
That was such
you went straight for it.
Yeah, I did.
But it feels like so long. Yeah, literally.
That feels like time ago, bro.
It was like time ago.
How many months is that? How many months since we graduated?
I don't know. 6.
Jesus.
6 months since only half a year.
Only half a year,
And my course is wrapped up.
I know you're done, but it's so peaked that abruptly, your course.
Yeah, my course has ended.
Because
of Corona.
Oh, another one I've just come up with actually. I remember when we were applying for university, right? I had gotten into UCL and you hadn't got a place yet.
Yeah.
I wasn't too gassed about because I was like, I've applied obviously because I wanted to go to UCL as a Russell Group, but then I also because I wanted to go with you.
Yeah.
I wanted to stick together kind of thing. I know you shouldn't reply like that, but that was just me.
Wow.
I remember when we came to the open day.
Yeah, the applicant day.
The applicant day, and you were like a bit down about it. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I turned to you and I said, "Look, listen, Josh. Like, don't worry about it. It's all a process. But one day we'll be sitting at main campus and we'll be like, look how hard it was to come here, but we're here."
Do you know how mad that statement was? Because like
that it was crazy, wasn't it? I'm gassed by myself.
Literally for prophesizing that basically, because like it was the applicant day. So basically, for all of the offer holders, he had an offer by November in 2015, and then in January they had an applicant day. So all offer holders could come to UCL and check out the course and give talks and bring a +1. So he brought me along, and I was sitting there as one of the only people in the room without an offer, like hearing her talk about a course that I wasn't going to be on in September that I really wanted to be on.
Yeah.
But he told me like, watch, like you will be sitting here.
I don't know why it wasn't that day. Yeah, I just had that feeling. I was like, we're gonna come back on this one day. Yeah. We're gonna sit at the main quad and we're gonna be like, it was a process to get here.
Following process.
But we both made it.
Yeah, both made it.
And like now, look, 3 and a bit years on, we did. But again. It wasn't easy going for you, but I think you also helped that situation by your persistence.
Yeah.
Because remember, you got through clearing.
Exactly, it got through.
I think the moment you I think you messaged me because you went through
UCAS adjustment
to find out. And then you messaged me saying, yes, actually, then let me come to your cell for urban planning.
Yeah.
I think then I felt a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
And I felt a high that day as well. I was like, yeah, fucking
like
God.
that was
I'm my flipping ones,
that
man.
day. I can't remember.
Jack Jones.
Yeah, Jack in it. I was so gassed that day.
Yeah, and then you came to your cell.
Yeah, that's one of my highs.
You know what could have potentially been a lowest of a low for
What's
you?
that?
Do you remember when they allowed you onto IMB and we were at Nando's, yeah? And then they messaged you saying, yeah, I actually did that.
If they sent
that
me
would have been
back
a low,
to urban planning, that would have been one of the lowest lows. Like, that would have been down there.
Can you imagine like doing like one full coursework for IMB and then them just being like to you like, I'm so sorry. But I think, you know what it was? I think because the fact that you did it and you had a graded course.
Exactly.
I think that helped a lot.
That really helped.
Otherwise, if you had just attended lectures,
they would have sent me back.
They would have just been like, nah.
Yeah, if I didn't spend time to do that coursework, I think it would have been
that would have been that would have been a big time low
for real.
Because like you would have just been like raw, like
actually.
But for me, that period, like when we found out that you were gonna come to UCL as well, that was a high for me.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously for you as a person,
for me as well,
it must have been
for
high,
sure, for both of us. When you got in, it was a high as well. Because I was gassed. I was not expecting that.
With UCL, I was, because that's why I wasn't looking at UCL in the first place. Because I was like, I'm not the sort of person that can get into Russell with uni. That's just not me.
But I remember telling you about it, but still I was always optimistic. Like, let's apply.
You've always been in our friendship. You've been the optimistic one.
Yeah,
I feel like with many situations, you're always like, let's look on both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was just like the narrow-minded one. Yeah. It's like, nah, dead.
Has it stopped filming? We can keep filming audio.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that was a high.
Yeah, for
100%. Because like, me and you from ends kind of thing. We're like, we weren't brought up around, you know, these
not at all
people helping us with education or people like especially like around our state, your estates and like my area now. You look outside and you just see police vans just locking up people.
Pulling up, locking up people.
We'll be playing football and you'll just see the madness going on around us. Like,
really.
But I think. Yeah,
we've come a long way.
We've come a long way, and I think we still got a long way to go.
Oh, for sure.
Life's a journey, and we're riding with it, fam.
Yeah,
we're doing good.
Riding the wave.
Yeah. I think we can do an update on this. If we continue Culture Talk for years to come, which I don't want this brand to die.
I don't want it to die. So
if we do it for years to come, I think we should come back to at that stage of our life. What is our highest high and lowest low?
Yeah, we should revisit this. That'll be good to reflect on.
This was good though. Thank you guys for listening to episode 4 of Culture Talk.
Yeah.
We are planning now to do, because we want regularity. We have realised we have not been consistent enough. We like to waffle. You like to hear us waffle. Yeah. So every Monday, we are making a partial promise.
Yeah.
You know, extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, easy
form. We'll fill out. We'll send it to you why we couldn't upload.
But we're going to try to do every Monday.
Every Monday at... what time should you upload it?
You guys tell us.
Actually, let us know in the comment.
Yeah,
we're gonna upload this first.
After uploading, after
we upload this, let us know in the comments what times do you guys prefer us to upload it. Obviously, you guys can watch it throughout the week, which is why we're doing it on a Monday. But we're gonna try and upload every Monday a new episode for you guys to listen to. Yeah. And once again, thank you for your continued support.
Thank you guys so much.
We are having fun with this now. We are growing.
We're growing,
and we'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.
Yeah.